And while next on the marketplace, our JoyBusiness Advisory Series. Yesterday, we started a conversation on financial planning. Partner accounting and advisory services at KPMG Annor was here with us, emphasizing the need to engage in strategic investments that would help us survive turbulent economic situations. We kind of focused on personal finances yesterday. Today, we want to expand it to business. Thanks for coming back, Randolph. So let's just get straight to it. Why is it important for businesses to undertake financial planning when they have their core operations to focus on?
Financial planning, right, is linked to performance. And there's a lot of research and study that has shown that businesses that undertake financial planning perform better than those that do not. Mm-hmm. So if you really want to do well, one of the things you ought to be doing is focus on financial planning. You see, the thing is that if you don't have a plan, how do you know whether you are doing well or not? And especially in our space where we have a lot of SMEs, in Ghana, about 85% more of the businesses are SMEs.
That's right.
Sometimes you're a business and you're telling yourself you are doing well. What is the benchmark? What are you using to say you are doing well or not? With a financial plan, you have something clearly defined. And so you know whether you are on track or you are not on track. And so it enhances business performance. And also it enables you to take good decisions. Financial planning enables businesses to take effective business decisions. If you don't have that, you may just jump at anything and reduces your efficiency and your decision making. So I'll just state these two.
I mean, you use the word effective, which I think is important for what we are discussing.
Sure.
And so how can businesses come up with effective financial plan, especially during these times?
Sure. Thanks, Darryl. So, and I like how you frame it, effective financial planning. A plan itself is useless, okay? So for effective financial planning, there is a cycle, mm-hmm. right? First, as a business, you need to understand where you are. What is your current state? Where are you now? What is the environment you're operating in? What is the environment you're operating in internally and then externally? So you need to know your current state. That is first. Then second, after you have assessed this current state, you now determine what key targets or what objectives you want to achieve. These key targets and objectives must align with your strategic objectives. A lot of businesses will have their mission, their vision, and all of that. These things are very long-term things, right? So whatever it is that you're doing or whatever target you are setting must help you to realize those missions and those visions. So you set your key target. Then you define your action plan, which is the financial plan, mm-hmm. all right, to help you to achieve those targets. It doesn't end there. I said earlier that just having the plan doesn't say much, but the implementation. So you need to implement. If you have a plan and you don't implement it, it's useless. All right, so you need to implement. Then implementing, you then monitor, you review and you monitor, so that if there are changes you ought to make, you make those changes. So that is typically the cycle. Know where you are, have your key target, have your plan. Don't just stay at the plan, but for it to be effective, right, then you need to implement. You can never say something is effective if an activity has not been done. Mm-hmm. Effectiveness measures the result, all right? And so for us to say your plan is effective, then you need to act. And the result of that actions will tell whether you are being effective or not.
All right. I want us to turn next to the importance of data in helping us plan. I mean, we are usually bombarded with financial reports, financial data. How can businesses leverage that to, again, effectively plan?
Sure, thanks. So, as a business, right, for you to effectively do your financial plan, you need a baseline. Your financial data serves as a baseline. So let me just use you as an example here. Your program now has a lot of listenership. If you want to get to a milestone, say I want 1 million viewers, how do you know if you don't have historical information that tells you where you are as to your current listenership. How do you say, I want to get 1 million viewers? Maybe you're already there. So what your financial data does is it gives you some baseline. Then the analysis you do on those financial data, because it's historical data, it gives a trend. And that helps you to, based on the trend and that baseline, helps you to project, to say, okay, last year my revenue was so much. Based on what I have seen and the performances I have gone through, based on the analysis you have done, maybe I need to be growing at 40%, 50%. So you are making decisions based on the insight you have from your data. Otherwise, you'll be shooting in the dark. And you may be tickling yourself to say, I have strong, this target is maybe ambitious. Maybe it's not ambitious.
Okay.
So you need your financial data, your financial reports, to really as a baseline to tell you whether indeed the aspirations you are setting for yourself are realistic, they are ambitious enough or not. So that's one of the main things that your financial data and your financial analysis helps you to do as far as effective financial planning is concerned.
Can we also talk about the use of technology to enhance the financial plan, to improve efficiency and to enable the business stay competitive?
Sure, thanks. So if you look at the activities, the cycle that I painted earlier, it is very difficult to say you are doing all of this manually, all right? And so as a business, most businesses now, worth its salt, will have some accounting system or some enterprise resource planning system that they will be leveraging, all right? So you need to take advantage of technology, one, in the planning itself, in the implementation itself, in the monitoring. Because if you leave it to a human being, it's difficult. And if you pick a business, there are several moving parts. And without technology, it may be very, very difficult to effectively ensure that your plan is on track, you are tracking it, you are staying the course. And that is why technology is so relevant and so important. So you must, if you want to be effective in your planning as a business, then definitely you need some kind of a tool or a technology platform to support you in doing so.
I know yesterday we talked about tools. Any sort of technology you'd want to suggest at this point?
So there are a lot of ERP. So there are the Oracles, the SAPs, the Microsoft Dynamics in business sense, just to mention a few that people can leverage on. There are other cloud technologies that people can leverage on to ensure that. So, and mostly for a lot of accounting system that businesses use, sometimes there are elements of financial planning in there, but from experience, you may go to a business and you see that they are actually not taking advantage of that. They are looking at the actual things that are happening, but in terms of their planning and their forecasting, even though the technology tool they have that they use may have capacity to do this, they may not be taking advantage of it. So my advice to businesses out there is that assess the system that you have, check what aspect of financial planning that tool can help you to do, and ensure that you customize it or you configure it to help you to stay effective as far as financial planning is concerned, because the cycle requires a lot, and if you don't leverage technology, you may struggle to stay effective as far as financial planning is concerned.
Earlier, you started talking about SMEs and the fact that they constitute about 85% of businesses. So I want us to talk about them and how they can come up with effective financial planning strategies to sustain the operations, especially during these times.
Sure, thanks, Jared. And this sector is very significant because they form the base of the Ghanaian economy. So we need to pay attention to that sector. In simple terms, they need to really have a clear vision. All right, as an SME, know where it is that you want to get to. Usually, people want to get to point A, but the actions that they take is not aligned to where they think they want to be. So your thinking and your actions, as an SME, your thinking, where you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years, what strategies or plans are you putting in place to ensure that you actually stay the course and accomplish those objectives? So have a clear vision, right? And ensure that there is alignment between the vision and your plans. Your plans must help you realize that vision. And then continuously review, and review. As you review, there may be changes that you need to make to ensure that you ultimately achieve the clear vision that you set for yourself. So for SMEs, have a clear vision. Make sure your plan is linked to you accomplishing that vision. Otherwise, then there is no, as we call it in finance, go congruence. Your actions is not leading you to accomplishing your goals. All right, so that match is so important as far as SMEs are concerned, if they must meet their strategies.
We have just about 30 seconds. I want you to leave us with just one tip for everybody watching, as could be about financial planning or anything else you think is important this year.
Sure. I think the key thing is for people to be conscious, all right? And for the little plans that you have in your mind, don't let it stay in your mind. Act on it. Do. If you don't do, it becomes just an idea. So let's move from, in this year, 2024, let's move from the ideation or concept stage, all right, to implementing. Let us execute. Without execution, we will never realize the lofty ideas that we have for ourselves. So for individuals and for businesses, good plan, but make sure you are acting on those plans. Execute. That is key.
Well, if you didn't hear anything, at least you heard do. Rain of Annor partner, Accounting Advisory Services, KPMG. Appreciate your insights. And that's the